Yeah, and the stalks are coming in. I mean, these corn cobs. I don't know if you can see it. Are you filming right? Have this many beans on them. Check it out.
Wow.
That's just like 2 minutes of picking on one stalk. All of these guys got the same deal. I'm gonna make some dilly beans.
And all of it growing on a roof.
Yeah, I'm on top of the root cellar right now. Awning. It's gonna have about 8 inches of dirt, whereas this is like almost 2 feet of dirt. You can see that we've got here, it goes pretty deep from here into the steel plate that's there. But then as you can see, we've got a raised bed that's about a foot tall. So we've got about a foot of dirt on top, so almost 2 feet of dirt on top of the root cellar. And the footprint of the root cellar is small enough that we used corrugated steel plates. Like you'll be able to see it down when we go down in there. But it's like ribbed like cardboard. You know what I'm talking about? And then on top of that, we put really thick 1/2-inch rebar, bent it over, really sturdy, and then poured concrete on top. And then that concrete seeped into the concrete blocks to make a monolithic. So this whole thing is one big concrete connection, you know, with a steel plate on top, concrete and rebar, and then the couple foot of dirt and everything. And then this is the result. Literally a forest of food that you're walking through. It's got corn and beans growing up the corn, tomatoes, arugula. There's some mint that shouldn't be in here. Oh, and you can see if you look where I'm at right now, you can see these tomatoes. There's some really good cherry tomatoes. But this big white thing sticking out of the ground is the vent down into the root cellar. I don't know if you can see in there.
Yeah.
Maybe from this angle you could get in there. But yeah, that's the top. That's the living roof garden. My name is Xavier Hawk. We're here at Colony Earth. This is the tiny Earthship with a living roof. I know it's not an Earthship in the conventional sense of Michael Reynolds' design with the tires and everything. The ways that it qualifies itself as an Earthship in my mind is it harvests its own food on the living roof, which is where we just harvested some food. I will be making dilly beans, and I'm going to climb up there and get those tomatoes. And anyhow, so it produces its own food. We harvest our own power here in the form of this room, is our energy storage room. On this awning here, which is also a thermal regulation unit in its own right, it's actually going to be a living roof as well, probably with purslane and some other low plants, some plants that stay kind of small. And we're only going to have 8 inches of dirt up there anyhow. So that first room would be an electronics room and power storage and power harvesting with solar panels that we're going to put up there. There's currently a company called V3 Solar that make these spinning conical looking solar panels. They're at the very beginning of their production stage. And so we're interested in those because they look really cool and they don't take up a whole lot of space. Otherwise, we can just use those hot water heaters up there as a frame for some solar panels as well. But either way, harvesting power in here, and then also off of my vehicle, I run off veggie diesel when the tank is clean, and I have an inverter so I can power up the battery system so that we can have off-grid power for different, like for the bunkhouse and for the kitchen and the yurt area. So in the next room, that would be the root cellar, and it's a south-facing root cellar, which is not something that you generally want to do, but with the ways that we have done it and the way that we have put the living roof on it and the insulation that we've done on both on the inside and on the outside in the form of the thicker earthen plaster, then also an awning on the top that will keep out the summer sun. We found that when we tried that, even in the late fall, it's nowhere near, not late fall, late summer, it's nowhere near where it would need to be to heat up. Like, it's in the shade. The root cellar is completely in the shade at that point, with a living roof on top of it, with a living roof on the awning in front of it, and there you go. And so with a well-insulated door, which is one of the things that we're putting together here in the next couple weeks, it stays completely cool in there. Like, already it's very much cooler than the outside air. And then the last door there is a tiny house, like loft apartment type thing. You want to go check it out? Okay. Oh, and the cool thing about the lime plaster is you can put cool designs into the wall. And the cool thing about lime plaster too is because this area is very moist, the western North Carolina is very moist, and having a lime plaster, which is very alkaline, and prevents mold and mildew, like, which is really key, because in this area, like, you can get mold and mildew, especially like dug in into the ground, you know, dank little areas, you can have that. But the lime plaster helps prevent that, and it's made out of limestone. When it biodegrades, we could pull this off and literally put it in the compost pile, and it would help out. I mean, people buy bags of lime, you know, put in their gardens to, you know, fix pH and this and that, and nutrients. Well, this is part of that cycle, and it looks cool too, you know. It just has that natural look to it. It's vibrant itself. This is still a mess because we're still getting to the phase of, you know, doing the interior.
Wow.
But this is really just technically a shed. You know, somebody could be working in here, or we could be storing stuff in here. But some cool elements to it are that, and this the reason why we built it is an educational tool, right? So there's a lot of ways to thermoregulate a building, and greenhouses can do this as well, but it's having convection, natural convection. There was a lady who designed a house living system at the same time that Michael Reynolds did, but she called it Sol Viva. You can look that up, and it's really incredible. It's basically a greenhouse that you live in. The problem there is the heat and the moisture. So one of the things that she came up with, I don't know if she came up with it, but you know, a lot of people have discovered it, and I forget who, and I'm really bad at remembering things like that. But you've got a window that opens, right, in the summer, and then windows up there. I don't know if you can see above where that door is, to the left, those 4 panels. Those are actually going to be flaps, windows, tiny windows, so that you have the natural convection of air heating and expanding, going up, and then it would be drawing the cooler air from this window up. You know what I mean? And having that back little door there allows for more air movement. And because I don't know if you can see it, but up here there's a big solar window, basically. It's a moonroof, so when you're sleeping, you can look up and see the stars. That was the vision that I had when I had the vision for this thing. It's like, you know, how can we make the most efficient use of the space, be providing what this village needs or what this homestead needs, and in terms of a root cellar, an office or storage room, and then power harvesting, and also make this area zone 1, where we have all of our primary produce that we eat ourselves right outside of our door. You know, the roof is sloped so we can collect water. The sunroof is there so that in the wintertime it doesn't take as much to heat this place. But what we are going to be putting in, we're going to be doing a workshop in the fall on this, is a rocket mass heater in this corner, like what Paul Wheaton's videos are about, and at Permies.com. He's been doing a project getting the DVD set teaching how to do that. We're going to be doing that workshop here. Not with Paul, I mean, unless he wants to, we'd love to have him. But we're going to be building that here and sharing that experience with folks. So yeah, it's burned into the earth, so there's that thermal mass, you know, the thermal regulation. We ended up using concrete blocks instead of tires because that's what we actually had a bunch of, and so we didn't have to buy a whole bunch more. And it was about speed, and instead of about getting this up before the fall, so to meet our needs for our crops and all. So that's the loft up there. We're going to put storage up here and here, like up in this area. And you got the cob wall, the demonstration cob wall with the glass inside, those components as well. And the trees, we harvested the locusts right here on the property. So yeah, it's a pretty fun little building. It demonstrates a lot of different ecological technologies that we have available to us in a small little space, and how you can build a root cellar and build a living roof properly. I don't know if, oh, this is the steel. Let's show you the steel.
And this is where the food storage is going to be? The root cellar?
Root cellar, right? So, I mean, you can feel like it's more chill in here than it is outside, and even no door, you know? That's because it's the temperature of the earth is coming through the concrete here and keeping that. It's that thermal mass. And then this is steel, right? This is like bomb-proof. We wanted to make sure we could drive a bobcat up on top of it, you know, because that's what we had to do to get the soil up there. So it's like literally, you know, can hold up tons and tons and tons. So the steel on top of the monolithic concrete with a large foundation of concrete on top of it with rebar, like, that you can't stick your fist through. That's how much. Yeah, we went overboard, you know, just to make super duper sure that that was going to be able to happen. So that in itself is one of the eco-technologies. The thermal regulation of the earth being burned up against the building, being burned up against the earth, having the garden, the living roof garden, and how to do that properly, how to shade a south-facing greenhouse and insulate it. And I'll be doing a video actually with all of the technologies involved in the root cellar by itself, and then you know, power storage, power harvesting. If you're running a diesel vehicle and you can run veggie diesel, then you have an inverter on your truck and you run a power from your inverter to a intelligent smart solar charger to a battery bank, and you've got alternative power that's clean and reusable, you know. So that's the systems that we have in place, you know, what we've got available to us. I've got to clean out the tank on my veggie diesel to make it run properly.
So you can be doing rainwater harvesting on the roof?
So yeah, rainwater collection off the sloped roof, and then off of this living roof system here on this front one, we're going to have one as well, coming out to here to a chain, you know, one of those cool chains that where the water drips down, you know, into a barrel here, and we'll be able to use the irrigation, the water from up here with. Interestingly enough, if we're charging a bunch of batteries here, alternative fuel, alternative power, then we can take one of those into a cart that moves around or whatever and use it for irrigation, because we have DC pumps, you know, so we can take the DC pumps and have the water be pumped up into the greenhouse there, or the one coming off of here. Haven't designed that system fully yet. I want to get the actual building in place, and then we'll be able to have the rainwater either collect down here and feed the garden back there, or come up and around, whatever looks best and fits with the flow of things. I would have loved to make this round, you know. I would have loved to have made this like a more flowy kind of structure, but everything around here, from the bunkhouse to the deck, even the yurt, it's like a yome, and it's angled. Everything's angles here, you know. And the other parts of the property, there's a lot of curves, and we're going to build earthships into the curved ground there, and they're going to be curved. But this is like Main Street, you know. It's like this is the communal area of the retreat facility center.
So basically, with the Earthship, it's everything that a person can need. You've got food, then you'll have rainwater and shelter. Food, water, and shelter, all in one tiny home package, basically.
Power harvesting.
And electricity, yeah.
And thermal regulation. So you don't need to heat and cool. You don't have to spend a lot for heating and cooling. You don't have to use a lot of energy for that. Now, we have we don't have a bathroom in here. We don't have any of that because we have a bathhouse and a bathroom here. And this is not a domicile. People aren't going to be living in here because this is an educational facility, right? And we're teaching people about the technologies that are available here.
Cool.
I like it a lot. I didn't sit down and just say I want to design a structure that has all of these components. Like, I literally just had a dream one day. It was like a daytime vision, a daytime dream, and I saw this thing here, and I saw, you know, a farm to table event here, and, you know, lights coming across here and here with a hanging garden around the deck. But I saw this big structure, and I was like, that needs to happen. Like, that's what's supposed to be there. And then, as I was growing with the vision, it became clear to me that it was a demonstration of all of these awesome technologies that are available to us, moving back to the earth, you know, getting back in balance, restoring the balance of the planet. This is a perfect tomato.